Hey guys, great to see you all. We're going to be looking at a really exciting story this morning from John 11, where we see Jesus do something really amazing. Okay, now I'm going to show you a little clip, and I need you to watch really carefully so that you can then answer 4 or 5 questions I'm going to ask you after this little clip. Okay, so I'm going to
God's story, Lazarus. So part of God's story is about how Jesus brought a man back to life. And it goes like this. Jesus had 3 really good friends, Mary, Martha, and their brother Lazarus. One day, Lazarus got really sick. He was so sick that he might die. Mary and Martha knew the only one who could heal Lazarus was Jesus. So they sent someone to find him. They found Jesus traveling and telling people about God. Now, you might think that Jesus would rush to heal his friend, but instead of leaving right away, Jesus stayed where he was for 2 more days. See, Jesus knew something no one else knew. Lazarus had died, but Jesus was going to bring him back to life so that they would believe that Jesus really was the Son of God. When Jesus finally got to Lazarus' house, Lazarus had been dead for 4 days. Mary and Martha were heartbroken. Martha said, Jesus, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But I know that even now, God will give you whatever you ask. Jesus said to her, your brother will rise again. Martha didn't understand at first. What Jesus meant was that he would actually bring Lazarus back to life here on earth. Jesus was saying, because he's the Son of God, he's more powerful than death. After that, Martha's sister Mary ran to Jesus and fell at his feet. Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. When Jesus saw her crying, he was so sad. In fact, when Jesus came to the tomb where Lazarus was buried, he cried too. His friend, who he loved so much, was dead. Kids, have you ever felt sad because of something that happened to you or someone you cared about? Just like us, Jesus felt pain and sadness because of what happened to his friend. Then, Jesus told some people to roll away the big, heavy stone in front of the tomb. He looked up and prayed, Father, I know that you always hear me. Then he called out in a loud voice, Lazarus, come out! Then Lazarus walked out. This man who had been dead for 4 days was now standing in front of everyone, walking and talking and alive. The people were amazed. You see, Jesus knew all along that he could bring Lazarus back to life. Jesus wanted people to see who he was, the Son of God. He wanted people to see God's greatness, that God could do anything, even bring someone back from the dead.
There's your clip, there's your story. What an amazing story, guys. Okay, so we are now going to do some quick fire questions, okay? And I want you to give me a thumbs up with your reaction if you think you have the answer, okay? And it'll be the first person to put their thumbs up who gets the points. Okay, guys? So here we go, guys. First question. Are we ready? First question. How many sisters did Lazarus have in the story? Jack. Okay, go on then, Jack. How many did he have? Unmute yourself.
2.
He had 2. Well done, Jack. First point to Jack. Well done. Okay, next question. Jesus waited for how many days, and what was he doing in the picture when he was waiting, and why? Who was first up there? Thumbs up there. I think it was Florence. Go on then, Florence. Unmute yourself, Florence.
He was waiting for Lazarus to die so that he could raise him again, and also in the pictures he was brushing his teeth and going to sleep in a woolly bobble hat.
Yeah, that's it. Great, Florence. Well done, Florence. And he was there for 2 days, wasn't he? Yeah. So great stuff, Florence. Next question. Who did Mary and Martha believe could help, and why? Jack. Well done, Jack. Okay, go for it, Jack.
They thought Jesus could help because they knew he's done great miracles.
Yeah, that's it. At the beginning of the story, we heard that people knew that Jesus was doing amazing miracles, and Mary, Martha, and Lazarus knew Jesus really well. Great stuff. Next question. How long had Lazarus been dead when Jesus came to him at the tomb? And what was he wrapped in? I think that was Gabriel just about. Go on, Gabriel.
4 days.
Yeah. And what was he wrapped in?
I forgot. What was it, Mum?
I can't tell you.
I forgot.
Okay, go on then, Bella. What was he wrapped in? Sorry, Florence.
Linen.
Yeah, he was wrapped in loads of linen, wasn't he? Yeah, absolutely. Because he had been in the tomb. He was dead for 4 days. Yeah. But then, last question. How can Jesus raise someone from the dead? And what does this point to? Go on, Dad.
He raises them from the dead because he has as much power as God.
Guys, I'm going to give you some items here that maybe you couldn't live without, okay? And if you couldn't live without these items, I want you to give me a thumbs up. But if you could live without them, then you can keep your thumbs down, okay? So give me a thumbs down. Okay, so could you live without toys?
Don't put your thumbs up.
Yeah.
Nathan, you could live without your toys. Okay, fair play. The rest of you, I don't think could. Gabriel could live without his toys. Okay. What about your sibling? Could you live without your sibling, your brother or your sister? Nathan. Okay, Florence couldn't live without Abigail. That's sibling love. Okay, what about TV? Could you live without TV? Ella wasn't sure there. Okay, there's a few that could live without TV. Good, guys. That's good. What about school? Could you live without school?
No.
We're living without school at the moment, aren't we? Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Okay, what about ice cream?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. You could live without ice cream. I could never live without ice cream. I have to. What about, last one, what about mum and dad? Could you live without mum and dad?
Yes.
Nathan, Ella, I hope mum and dad aren't listening to
I'd
this.
love that.
Oh dear.
Yes.
No, guys, we are living in a time at the moment where we're having to live without certain things, aren't we? We're having to live without school and without seeing friends. We aren't able to go on our holidays, Easter holidays, away off the island. So it's quite sad, isn't it? There's a few things that we're missing. And we see in this story, there's a really sad thing that's happening to Mary and Martha's brother, Lazarus, because he's really ill, isn't he? And they've got a problem, and they want to find a solution to this problem, but they recognize that they're totally powerless. They cannot help their brother Lazarus. And so we see that they believe that the only person that can help is Jesus, because they know Jesus has been performing loads and loads of miracles, and so perhaps Jesus can help. And so they go to Jesus, and Jesus doesn't go anywhere, does he? He waits 2 days. What on earth is Jesus doing? You know, they're asking for help, and he's not coming to help straight away. Why on earth would this be? Well, we can see here that Mary and Martha needed to understand that there was a bigger plan, because ultimately Jesus wanted to show his power and authority over death. But there are times maybe when we pray and maybe we don't hear an answer from God, do we? Maybe we ask God for help and nothing happens. And we maybe think, is God there? Does God care? Well, we see here that Jesus really does care about Lazarus, doesn't he? He weeps and has emotion because Lazarus is ill and not well. And you can see that that's having an effect on Lazarus's family. But God has a bigger plan, because we see here Jesus interacting with Mary and Martha tells them an amazing truth in verses 25 to 26, which I'm going to read out. Verse 25 says this: Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me, though he die, yet shall he live. And everyone who lives and believes in me shall never die. And so we see that Jesus is not just talking the talk here, he is walking the walk as well. He follows through and raises Lazarus from the dead 4 days after he had passed away. This is an amazing miracle, isn't it? Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that when we die or when someone close to us dies, that they will come back to life if they believe in Jesus in this life. But Jesus is helping us see that he has the ultimate answer to life and death. And so we can see that Mary and Martha have put their trust in the right person. The greatest problem in the world is solved with the greatest solution from Jesus. And that's an amazing thing that we can put our trust in. So whatever we go through in life, whatever challenges we're facing, whatever we're having to live without, we can know that if God can defeat and have power over life and death, we can trust him for everything else. And that's good news, isn't it? Great. Shall we sing a song? So guys, are we all ready for this song? This is a song that we've sang before. Jesus, number one, you know it well. We want to see lots of good singing, lots of actions. You can wave flags, you can jump around.
Jesus is number one, right at the top where he belongs. Who he is and what he's done make Jesus number one. Jesus is number one, right at the top where he belongs. Who he is and what he's done make Jesus number one. He's the Son of God, Jesus number one, yeah. He rose from the dead, Jesus number one, yeah. He'll rule eternally, Jesus number one, yeah. He has supremacy, Jesus number one. Come on, and Jesus is number one, right at the top where he belongs. Who he is and what he's done make Jesus number one. Jesus is number one, right at the top where he belongs. Who he is and what he's done make Jesus number one. God, Jesus number one, yeah. He rose from the dead, Jesus number one, yeah. He'll rule eternally, Jesus number one, yeah. He has supremacy, Jesus number one. Come on, Jesus is number one, right at the top where he belongs. Who he is and what he's done make Jesus number one, yeah. Jesus is number one, right at the top where he belongs. Who he is and what he's done make Jesus number one. Jesus is number one, right at the top where he belongs. Who he is and what he's done make Jesus number one. Jesus is number one, right at the top where he belongs. Who he is and what he's done make Jesus number one. Come on, Jesus number one, Jesus number one. Jesus number one, Jesus number one, yeah.
Oh, guys, that was awesome. Great dancing, great actions. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope everyone enjoyed that back at their homes. on this Easter Sunday morning. We've had a great time with our children here just now. I'm now going to pass on to the Davies family, who are going to say some family prayers for us. And then we're going to have Brian and Daphne come up and do our reading.